Season 35's A Mid-Childhood's Night Dream gave us one of the most sincere and vulnerable stories that The Simpsons has ever done. The premise focuses on Marge's fear and then acceptance of her kids growing up, albeit a fear you wouldn't really expect a cartoon mum whose kids haven't aged in over 30 years to have, but well, there we have it. It's also a wonderful character study of Marge Simpson, the show's voice of reason, the show's biggest warrior, and perhaps the character we probably resonate the most with, especially in this episode, when we see her fear of life slipping away from her. So let's chat about what hit, what might have missed, and be sure to stick around to the end of the video for a big, huge announcement, and maybe even a cheeky face reveal. The episode opens with Marge's memory of buying a bubble gun for the kids at the supermarket, and she cries with happiness when she gets home while watching her family play with it in the garden, up until she sees a young Bart slowly drift away from her. This then turns out to be a dream when Marge wakes up clammy, sweaty and ill. We find out she's ill because of a parent-teacher evening with Miss Peyton, which made her realise just how quickly Bart is growing up.
Last year of elementary school and then it's on to middle school and
Middle school?
And to put it mildly, Marge spiraled, which we saw in a reference to Jordan Peele's Get Out. It affected her so badly that her and Homer went on a wild bender of booze and dodgy dogs, which gave her the food poisoning to then get ill. And unfortunately, this means she's too ill to go to the Bounce-a-thon, a yearly tradition that she photographs for her photo album, which captures little Lisa and little Bart giving a thumbs up before they cross the finish line. And to make things even worse, Bart says he's too cool for it.
There's no way I can do a thumbs up at Bounce-a-thon.
What? So while recovering, Marge drifts in and out of consciousness, uncovering a whirlwind of surreal dreams, reinforcing the fear of Bart's lost childlike innocence.
I've lost my little boy.
And the way the dreams are shown are so true to how we experience them, without over-explaining them. I mean, we all know it's completely normal in our dreams to be thrown into bizarre new situations without really questioning why we're there or what we need to do. Also, I have to say that the animation in this episode is absolutely awesome. You can really tell how the team had so much fun with it, and the story also gave them that freedom to show how Marge's life is warping in her subconscious.
Okay, maybe I am being a teensy bit negative.
It's a real testament to how far The Simpsons is able to go with its artistic storytelling now, and how much they really want to. Eventually, amongst the chaos, Marge realises that she can in fact control her dreams and memories a bit more, guided by a morphing Homer and Lisa, who shares her knowledge, but in a way that Marge remembers it.
It's a scientific concept called lucid dreaming.
And by quote-unquote lucid dreaming, Marge is able to control what happens and enter specific memories, giving us again an adorably relatable insight into Marge's psyche. I mean, just take a look at these. I'm sure we have all thought about what we should have said in hindsight to those little biatches in your life. We've also probably all wondered about if that random celebrity is still alive, our insecurities about our manly thumbs, and also why somewhere just smells a bit off. It's these comedic details that break up the heavier issues of the episode, making it still feel like The Simpsons. The same can be said when Wiggum randomly pops up, all because Marge finds him attractive.
I don't think so. If anything, I'm into Eddie.
Yeah, he's a beautiful man.
And I have to pause it right here because I have to say that Julie Kavner, who's Marge's voice actress, does an amazing job in this episode.
I'll have to fill my days with a bunch of stupid hobbies. I don't want an Etsy storefront.
I've seen a few comments online about how The Simpsons quote-unquote need to replace Julie, all because her voice is aging a bit. And yes, I get that she doesn't really sound the same as she perhaps did in the first 20 seasons or so, but she is Marge.
I personally think that Marge is a wonderful person. I think that she has very strong, solid ethics and morality and has a great sex life.
Also, she wants to do it. She's not being forced to do it, and yes, again, she is Marge. She has lived and breathed this character for over 30 years. And in my opinion, no one could ever properly replicate her husky, raspy, and iconic voice. I mean, I'm sure we've all tried to do it, like, "Oh, homie, you are so beautiful." But yeah, it's really hard, and who else could do it? Let her do her damn thing, god damn it. This collection of dreams and memories makes Marge realise that even though Bart sees himself as too cool for the bounce-a-thon, Lisa isn't, and that she should really treasure what time she has left with her.
Oh, I was so sad that Bart had outgrown the bounce-a-thon. I couldn't see that my sweet Lisa still loves it.
So Marge suffers through her illness to get to the event to capture the special moment, until she faints. When she comes to, she and Bart's teacher talk about their earlier meeting. You see, after Peyton mentioned middle school, Marge totally spiraled, and instead, she imagined her saying all kinds of horrible stuff about Bart's childhood being over.
And everything changes. Girls, acne, drugs.
But that wasn't really the case after all, and she assures Marge that Bart has plenty of childhood left.
Hey, Bart's got a lot of childhood left.
And speaking of Bart's teacher, I have to say that I do really miss Edna's brash cynicism.
Hey, it'll be one of their few pleasant memories when they're pumping gas for a living.
She was one of my favourite characters as she felt the most real, but that's not to say I don't like Peyton's addition to the show. Unlike Edna, Peyton is a brand new bright-eyed teacher, and it is quite funny seeing her struggle on what she can say and what she can't say out loud.
Oh, not a test score I should have said out loud at a school function.
But what I will say is that hopefully her personality will get fleshed out a bit more as the seasons roll, as Bart's relationship with Edna produced some of the show's greatest moments. Anyway, Marge is now feeling well enough to capture a cheeky photo of Bart at the finish line, and despite him not giving the thumbs up she wanted, she shows so much genuine love here.
A funny little guy.
This was such a satisfying and heartwarming way to show her character arc of accepting that he's just not a little kid anymore. She accepts him as the weird little big butt man he is.
That's really good.
This episode's dissection of her fear was done so well even if you don't have children, and that's exactly why I cried. Sure, it doesn't really mean much in the context of the show as these kids won't be aging anytime soon, but it doesn't really have to. And if you haven't texted your mom or loved one in a while, then this episode will definitely make you pick up that phone. And what I loved in particular about this episode was that the meaning behind it was played so straight. And any laughs I did have with Wiggum, Lisa's lucid dreaming, or the filing cabinet of woes, they all just felt quintessentially Marge. And it wasn't just Marge's character, all of the main players were written so well here. I was relieved that Bart wasn't this stereotypical daredevil boy, but simply a kid going through the motions of growing up and getting older.
Crazy pictures is my thing now. You should respect that this is just how I am this year.
And with Lisa, this episode really did have a nice balance between her bright-eyed innocence in Marge's conscious, but also her mature intelligence inside Marge's subconscious. It was also a really good angle for Homer being the avenue of emotional support for Marge. This is shown when they're in bed together, and plus, he's also a great comedic relief here. So, why did this episode feel so real and have such an impact? Well, you really have to give kudos to the writer, Carolyn Omine. You see, the inspiration behind this episode came from her own acceptance of her children flying the nest. On Twitter, she explained how while talking on a panel, Yardley Smith asked her what advice she'd give to Marge as Bart's mother. But it wouldn't be until months later after this she'd finally have an answer, which was, treasure this time. Bart is still a child, but it's about to change. And in a way, I feel like this episode was a mind's way of really hammering home this advice and fear. From holding your newborn's hand, yearly parent-teacher evenings that go by so fast, and those empty bedrooms when they finally leave. So last week we had a light-hearted funny romp about Homer becoming a crazed crossing guard, and this week we have a really lovely touching story about mother and son. It just shows that really anything is possible with Matt Selman's modern Simpsons. An era we already knew was making amazing Simpsons episodes, but even then I was completely taken by surprise by how good this really was. And come on, that piano Simpsons theme song, absolutely gorgeous. Therefore, for this fantastic episode, A Mid-Childhood's Night Dream, I am giving it 5 out of 5 stars. But wait a minute. Why am I on camera? Well, I really wanted to do this big announcement on camera because I really want to get across how exciting it is to finally tell you about a project that we have been working on for over 2 years. It's a brand new book and it's called Collecting the Simpsons, the merchandise and legacy of our favourite nuclear family. It's out on December 5th and I wrote it with my husband James as well as Warren Evans, the host of the Simpsons is Greater Than podcast. He's also one of the biggest Simpsons collectors I know. It's a hardback coffee table book full of photographs, words, all about Simpsons mania in the 90s, and the photographs are really beautiful. They're done by an artist from Seattle called Caroline Walker Evans, and it's been so good to have real creative control over it and really produce a book we are really, really proud of. It's a book with photographs and words all about the weird and wacky world of the Simpsons merchandise from the 90s and beyond, and it's a big boy. It's over 300 pages long and it talks about the video games, the comics, the fashion, the board games, food, drink. Like, we had to open like a 10-year-old Krusty-O's box just to photograph it and really see what it smelled like. We really did our research on it, but it was so fun. And the great news is that it's available to pre-order now on Amazon. So with our last book, The Simpsons Secret, Amazon didn't actually have enough copies, so it sold out really, really quickly. So to make sure you get it before the holidays on the 5th of December, you can pre-order it. I've left the link down below in the description. So again, thank you so much for supporting the channel and thank you so much for watching, as without you guys giving a crap about what we did, I would never have the opportunity to write a book like this. So thank you so much for watching and I'll smell you later.